Well, the car will be cleared, but it will be cleared behind the barriers. That car, or those cars, are not going to take in any further part in this event here this afternoon. So again, Switzerland comes across.
There's been a few major changes as a result of incidents. Look, Italy up 7 places from their original starting position. Malaysia up 5 places. Czech Republic, new driver Josef Kral's up big time as well. But look how many reds there are on that graphic.
Indeed,
showing.
Germany, the big loser in that.
Yeah.
And let's get on board with South Africa and let's see what happens.
It's just going past the scene at the moment.
This is the live picture.
Still several cars to be gathered up there. They still haven't managed to get the German car moved, and that's got a wheel in the air. I don't know if it's still mounted on the other one or not. We're going to take a look at the original start here, first of all, and that was a slow getaway by Team Canada, and then it was the bunching that went on behind. Look, they're all trying to get 4 abreast almost.
Yes, and that was a very good start by Brazil, going around the outside of Team GBR and gets the pass, but then it all went pear-shaped and up in the air, and then just simply log jam. And that literally was what it is, as a log jam down at Vodacom corner, and the whole lot comes to a standstill. And well, I think I've said enough on the subject, otherwise I'm going to get rude about some of these kids.
Well, this was South Africa, had nowhere to go, did he? Adrian Zaub stuck on the outside. Outside lane was not the place to be, unfortunately. He bumped into the back of the Pakistan car. That's what did his nose cone. Italy got stuck on the outside, although Italy actually have recovered more quickly because they're now running reasonably well. Ironically, they're now up into 10th place. I don't quite know how Piscopo managed to get out of that. It did look as though South Africa, it might have got a push actually into Pakistan by USA. So I'm not sure it was Adrian Zaub's fault that he ran into the back of Pakistan. He may well have had a shove from behind.
I think you've got to look at it in an analysis and just slow it all down. There was so much taking place, and you're looking at one group of cars and there's another group, literally, I mean, it was like lemmings just sort of jumping off the cliff.
So there's still cars to be picked up down there. Australia's in. John Martin has been feeling pretty poorly. He's probably feeling even worse now. Damage to the front end of the car, to the suspension as well. Steering arm is bent. And I wonder if they might send him back out again. There's a good chance here because you might as well get back out there.
Well, you know, what, 8 cars finished here last year? So you put your car in the garage, you repair the car, and you go back out again. Obviously, you're not going to win the race, but you never know. You could finish in the top 10. There may not even be 10 finishers. If you can do that, then that makes all that effort very worthwhile.
Yeah, well, Pakistan, Nur Ali got the final point last year in 10th place, but he was some 4 laps off the winner. So, you know, if you lose a lap or 2 in the pits, it's still worth getting out there. You may still manage to score a point. So, not a great start for Australia in this one. Let's get down to the pits and some reactions from Alan Jones with Simon.
Alan, after a very encouraging sprint race, your face says it all pretty much.
Well, unfortunately, it's a very narrow street circuit, and turn 1 has always had problems, and every year we've been here, there's always been shunts on turn 1 in the first couple of laps, and, you know, it just goes with the territory. But he got caught out. He did a very good start, but we'll have him back out in a minute, and we'll be right.
Now, John Watson was making disparaging comments about these young kids. You know, you're of the same era as Watty. What do you think?
Well, he couldn't do it anymore, neither could I, so I'm not going to start making comments about things I can't do.
Thanks, Alan.
Okay, thank you.
Well, there we go, John. What have you got to say about that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I would like to think neither of us would have been as dumb as some of the drivers we've seen here.
That was a big lunge from John Martin.
That was a big lunge. I mean,
Inside.
it was never going to get past, and it was going to be a closing gap. So that was just a simple mistake from John Martin. And this is the restart after the first safety car intervention. So that was just an error on the part of John Martin, and he's gone back into the pits. But of course, it set off this chain reaction. Yeah, you see the green and yellow car dive down the inside, tags the right rear of Germany, spins Germany round. He's facing the traffic coming towards him. France. They couldn't quite see where the French got through.
He got through. Actually, that was remarkable that Loic Duval managed to find a way of getting through. Oh, look at the damage to the front of the Indonesian car, trying to get away now.
Also, the car's got damage to the rear suspension. So he's making his way back very, very gently indeed as we see John. Is that John Martin?
It is. He's
out
on
already.
His way. Yeah.
Well, there can't have been too much damage to that car.
No.
He's only probably lost a little over a lap, if even that.
No, so there could be still points for Australia and for Jackaroo at this rate, with so many in trouble here in the early stages. Long way to go. Now, joining us on our crew on the TV side of things this weekend is rookie driver for Team Switzerland, Marcel Fassler. Let's hear from Marcel. Marcel, what do you reckon on what's been going on so far?
Yeah, it's really quite difficult, I think, for all the pilots from the starts. The first corner is quite difficult. It's quite tight, and as you have seen in the TV, the cars just hit a little bit the other one, and then all stuck inside. I think it's very difficult to manage it for the drivers. It looks easier than it really is, but yeah, it's unfortunately we lose a lot of cars, and for the crowds it's also not so good at the moment.
No, that's right. You're right. Thanks very much for your comments. And there's Team Ireland. He's actually getting out the car. That's interesting. They're going to change the nose cone, but Adam, maybe the belts were undone, so he's got to try and reorganise them.
Yes, he probably got out of the car down at turn 1. He drove back to the pits. They've now got to reconnect the belts at the same time. They've got to replace the nose, and goodness knows how many nose cones have been replaced. Certainly a huge number have been shredded, and we've still got 42 laps to go, or 55 minutes, whichever's going to come the sooner, and I can guarantee you now it will be 55 minutes.